Good evening and welcome. Just a couple of days from the 149th running of the Kentucky Derby 2023. We continue our coverage of Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown. And tonight we're going to have a handicapping show. We're going to talk about the Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby Daily Double, get you up to date on the latest news of the Kentucky Derby. And joining me to handicap some of the stakes races and picks for Saturday, Kentucky Derby Day, is going to be the Derby Bandit. So stick around. We're going to be on for 35, 40 minutes, go over the races, talk about the speed of the race, whether to bet the race, kind of how to play some pick 5 and pick 4 tickets. And joining me now is the Derby Bandit. Good evening. And you're coming to me from Texas tonight, right?
Yes, sir. Good evening to everyone out there. Hopefully everyone's ready to watch the show, catch some winners. I know if you tuned into that Breeders' Cup show the last time, put out a pretty good amount of winners, so we're hoping to do the same come Saturday.
All right. Well, let's first off get everybody up to date with the news on the day. We had a couple of scratches to the Kentucky Derby field, but they did have some also eligibles already in waiting. So scratched out of the race was 10-1 shot Practical Move, the winner of the Santa Anita Derby. And then also scratched was Lord Miles, the winner of the Wood Memorial. Now into the race, number 21 is Cyclone Mischief for trainer Dale Romans. And number 22 is Mandarin Hero, Japan bred, who ran second to Practical Move in the Santa Anita Derby. Derby Bandit, some early thoughts on the two horses getting in and the two horses kind of going out of the Derby field.
Yeah, that's a little stab in the heart for me because, as I've been saying on your channel in the comments, I had a futures move at 66-1 for $25 on Practical Move. Not a whole lot of money that I lost, but it's still a $25 bet. That had a lot of value to it going into this race because he did have the odds of 10-1. So I don't know, I'm not too happy about that, but it is what it is. You know, he spiked a fever. But if you're scared, go to church. This is a Kentucky Derby. You have to give it a shot, but of course the horse comes first. So I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good with the Mandarin Hero coming in. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Mandarin Hero. I think a lot of people were impressed with his effort in the Santa Anita Derby. And remember, that was pretty much just a head bob between those two. Yeah. So I think Practical Hero or Practical Move would have been about 10-1. And I think Mandarin Hero might be about 14 to 15-1. I think a lot of the money will just kind of switch over to him. Now, I think Cyclone Mischief, his morning line was 30-1, and he'll probably be around 25, 30-1.
I think he was probably end up being lower than that because, you know, everyone last year, no one had Rich Strike. He's pretty much considered the lucky, quote unquote, number 21 entry. So you're going to have all these random people hoping to hit the long shot doing the same thing. Just like how Rich Strike went from, I think, 50-1 and was it the next race that he ran in? And he got brought down like really, really low. So I think a lot of money's probably end up going to Cyclone Mischief. But I'm going to put some money on Mandarin Hero because I think if they would have won a mile and a quarter at Santa Anita, he definitely would have passed Practical Move. My opinion.
All right. Well, let's start talking about these races. We've got a great card lined up. First off, we want to talk about the kind of the lineup. We've got 13 races on Friday at Churchill Downs, including the Ali Sheba Stakes. Rich Strike is going to be returning to the scene of the crime, as you might say, a year later at the same track. And then we've got the Kentucky Oaks, a full field of 14 horses. And then on Saturday, we've got 14 races, including the Kentucky Derby, and still, as of right now, a full field of 20 horses. And we've still got a horse on deck in King Russell. So a lot of action, a lot of choices to choose. And one of the bets that we're going to talk about right away is this bet has to be made tomorrow before the Kentucky Oaks. And I think you said it's one of your favorite bets, the Kentucky Oaks Derby Double. You have to pick the winner of the Kentucky Oaks and you have to pick the winner of the Kentucky Derby. And first off, you've got some picks here for the Kentucky Oaks.
Yes, I'm going to go with the number 4, South Lawn at 8-1. Am I going to bet it? Maybe. I doubt he's going to she's going to go off at 8-1. Maybe 4-1, half the odds, because there's a lot of buzz going around this horse. So I'm also going to play the exact as what you see on the screen, the trifecta wheel, and the superfecta wheel. So I think it's pretty reasonable prices to wager on this race. But I'm definitely not
So
going to put
South
wet
Lawn,
paint
yeah,
up
I
the
think
front.
she'll be about 6-1. She's basically your top selection then in the Kentucky Oaks.
Yes. Yes, she is. She's number one.
Okay, my top selection in the Kentucky Oaks is Pretty Mischievous. She lost to South Lawn the last time, but she did win the Untappable Stakes. She ran well as a 2-year-old, and I think the key there, you've got Wet Paint as the favorite, and then Botanical has won 4 in a row at Turfway Park. Now she's going to run at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, see, and I don't know about that because just like how Two Phils was tearing it up at Turfway, going from synthetic to dirt. Apparently, they're working out great at Churchill, but we'll see come race day. I'm not putting my money on a horse that's been winning on the synthetic. Just like Tizabon was last year, I think it's going to be the same thing this year.
All right. Well, let's take a look. You did come up with some Oaks Derby doubles. Kind of give us your thought process and how you're betting this race.
Let me see. Let me pull it up. All right. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just going to single South Lawn in the Oaks. And then in the Derby over Angel of Empire, Forte. The Forte bet I'm going to press a little bit more just because Forte is going to be the favorite. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to have that combination. So hopefully get a little bit more for my money. And of course, I changed my bet to Mandarin Hero, obviously, since he entered the race. Then Reincarnate at 50-1. If he stays 50-1, or even if he goes 30-1, that's still going to be a pretty good bet, in my opinion. And the same concept with Disarm, another long shot for the Derby.
All right. And then Disarm, Steve Asmussen, he's a long shot. He's by Gunrunner. He got 3rd in the Lexington Stakes. And I think some people might be using that horse a little bit just because of the connections. Gunrunner, Winchell Thoroughbreds, and Steve Asmussen.
Yeah, that's very true, too. So hopefully, I know odds are going to come down a little bit, but hopefully not too much. And at least in the Oaks Derby double, hopefully that horse doesn't get hammered. So we'll see what the payout looks like.
And as of right now, Mandarin Hero will be in post position 20, Cyclone Mischief in post position 19.
Yeah, to me, it really doesn't matter. I think Cyclone Mischief, of course, is going to cut across the field and try and get position just like everybody else. So just have to see how the race plays out.
All right, let's move on to the early stakes pick 4 on Saturday. Starts with race 5, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Looks like you're starting off a little bit narrow in race 5 and then going a little bit deeper in race 6 and 7.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Spenderella as a single for race 5. But if you do add another horse, I'm going to add the 2 to that one. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get that single home. See, it's loading. Number 2, Speak of the Devil, won this race last year, trying to beat him. So we'll see what happens. And of course, I'm going to spread race 6, 7, and hopefully an 8 will bring this ticket home. So $50 ticket if you single, or $100 if you play 2 horses in race number 5.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Spenderella as being probably my best bet of the weekend. I think that's the one that, for me, is just going to win that race. Coming off the layoff, probably pointing to Royal Ascot.
Oh, yeah. So my plan is to win big on roulette and then hammer this early pick 4 ticket and use Spenderella as a single. So that's my plan. But if people decide to follow the bet exactly how I made it, I'm pretty confident about that too. So I'm just going to hammer it for a little bit more.
All right, so let's go through the stakes races on Saturday. First one out of the gate is Derby City Distaff. We've got Goodnight Olive, the big favorite. She won the Breeders' Cup. She's on a big winning streak. Matareya is second off a layoff, and Hot and Sultry ran against Secret Oath the last time. Let's take a look at how the whole field. First off, we've got Goodnight Olive, 4-5 on the morning line. Wicked Halo at 3-1. Matareya at 7-2. How do you kind of see this race playing out?
I kind of just see this as Goodnight Olive's race to lose, basically. So, like you said, coming off that long winning streak, Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, morning line of 4-5. Definitely not going to be a money placing win bet for the number 2, but if you want to try and beat her, it's going to be a little bit tough. But if you do decide to try and play against her, I would play the 1 and the 3 over the 2. So hopefully you might get a little bit of a price over it, a little bit more value for your $1 or whatever amount you plan to bet on an exacta. But to me, Good Night All is a single, and that's the only horse that I'm going to use.
Yeah, I think with Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz, she's proven at that sprint distance.
Oh, yeah.
She's on a long win streak. So you've got win on Goodnight Olive. I don't think she'll be 2-5. I think there's too much money and too many people.
I thought I saw 2-5 somewhere.
Yeah, I think about 3-5 to 4-5 will be more. But you think she's kind of a single, right?
Oh, yeah, she's definitely a single in this race. So that's why on the ticket, on the screen, you'll see the multi. And that's just going to be my main part. Or if you want to spread in the race, like I was talking about the 1 and the 3. So that's how I'm going to use those on my pick 4 tickets. Or actually, this is going to be the pick 5 ticket, but I didn't give you we don't have the graphic for that one right now. Just the pick 4.
All right. Let's take a look at the Churchill Distaff. This one is Sharp Hero, Speak of the Devil, Haughty, another Chad Brown horse. Chad Brown's got 3 in this race, along with Fluffy Socks. Wakanaka is kind of a closer for Bill Mott and Joel Rosario. Spenderella, the 7-5 favorite. And then you've got Sister Luann, Fluffy Socks, and Freedom Speaks at 20-1.
Oh, yeah. This is going to, I don't know. I mean, like you said, this is going to be your best bet of the weekend, possibly on Spenderella. Same thing. I mean, I'm going to use her as a single in the early pick 4. So she's going to be tough right here in this spot. But if you do want to try and beat her, I would go with Speak of the Devil, like I said, who won this race the last time. So just pretty much going to be a 2-horse race, in my opinion. But if you do really want to spread, definitely use the 7 Fluffy Socks, Brown Ortiz again. This horse, she made me a lot of money a couple years ago. So I always like try and get her in the mix somehow. So if you want to play her underneath Spenderella and go 5-7 exacta, or 5-7-2 or 5-2 over the 7, that's gonna be a pretty good bet, because I think there'll be a little bit of value in that exacta, especially if Fluffy Socks beats both of them.
Yeah, I think if you can get a Spenderella over Fluffy Socks, that exacta might pay, $18, $20 if you can beat Haughty, or I think Speak of the Devil will be the clear-cut second favorite.
Oh, yeah, definitely will be, just for the fact that won the race last year.
Surf fishing fan, he loves Fluffy Socks.
Oh, yeah, Fluffy Socks. There you go. There's another believer.
All right, let's see how we move along here now so your late pick 5 starts in race 8, and it looks like you're starting with 4 horses on Saturday.
Yes.
And then you in race 10 is your only 2 horses. And then you're closing it out in the Derby with the big dogs. You've got 14, 15, and 18. Walk us through your late pick 5 on Saturday.
All right, let's see. Pat Day Mile, I don't know. That race is kind of a little bit wide open in my opinion. But I have a feeling Kangaroo Court for Tim Yaktine and Johnny V on board. They might get the job done in this one. So I was thinking about playing a separate ticket with that as a single, and then playing the rest of everything else. But I think there might be a little bit of value in this late pick 5, especially with everyone pouring money into the wagering pool. So hopefully we'll close it out in the Derby with the number. Wait, what did I put 18? Never mind. It should be 22, because obviously
Mandarin Hero 22.
Yeah,
okay,
that's a mistake on my part.
All right, so 22 Mandarin
15,
Hero.
14, 22 for race
All
12
right.
in the pick 5.
Wilson Dog, he says he's going to go with Forte, Angel of Empire, and Hit Show. So he's going to play your ticket, throw in Hit Show, and he's going to beat you to the punch, Wilson Dog.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
All right. And that's how I recommend playing. I think, when you watch and listen to shows like this, go with your picks. It's good to recommend tickets and things like this, but I think if you kind of mix and match some of your own picks, because I think what happens is when you No, but it's hard to pick 5 races in a row. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's
that
definitely the hardest.
you're probably guaranteed going to have 3 winners on this ticket. It's
Yeah,
the
I'm
magical 2 other ones.
I'm guaranteed to go 4 for 5. I don't know about going 5 for 5 all the time, but I'll go 3 for 5 all day. 4
So
for 5
yeah,
all
and
day.
that's why I think it's
always
good to
that one
listen
race.
to other people's picks, because then you kind of analyze and toss in a few horses that they don't have. Because yeah, a lot of times people go 2 for 3 or 3 for 4 or 4 for 5. And if they would, because here's the thing, like when I handicap, I'm handicapping pedigree, I'm handicapping speed, and I'm handicapping workouts. But let's say if you handicap in class, you're going to include a couple of class horses. And if it was as easy as just picking the top 5 speed figures in every race, well, everybody would have the same horses. So that's what I'm saying is mixing in some different handicapping styles allows you to get different horses into these tickets.
Yeah, and that's like a big thing right now on Twitter is like everyone talking about ticket structure and value for your bet, of course, and how these experts on TV are just giving out garbage or whatever. But it's just a suggestion. I'm not saying you have to play it. Like, I'm not telling you, yes, you need to play this ticket the exact same way. So like he included his show in race 12. That's perfect. I mean, I like the bet too, because if it wins for you, it's definitely going to make you some money. So of course, throw in whatever opinions you have. It's just simply what I'm seeing right now on the board.
Yeah, a guy at the track always used to call this like the script. He would say like, this is just kind of the basic outline. Guide. Yeah, this is how you start, and then you add a couple of horses or take off a couple of horses.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Everyone's free to do as they please. So you can play it the exact same way, or throw in your own horses and make a bigger ticket. Or if you think, like, say race number 10, the 7's going to win, Cody's Wish. I might single Cody's Wish too, but endorse the 10 horse has been running lights out the last couple of races. So that's the only reason why I'm including the 10 on the ticket.
All right. The next go, we've got actually... Yeah, next go overnight. You have got a couple of selections here. Perfect Flight at 20-1. Bet yes, and you're throwing out Zozos.
No, I put non-betting winner, so I think Zozos can win, but I'm not gonna place a bet on him at 5-2. I'm gonna go with the number 4, Perfect Flight, first time gelding, going out for Peter Miller, and Manny Franco's gonna be on board in the irons for this one, so I'm going to take a shot at 20-1 to beat Zozos, because I don't know. That's just I like betting first time geldings, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a long shot play, especially if we get this one on the pick 4. That's gonna make the payout really good if the rest of the ticket ends up cashing.
All right, so now let's talk about your late pick 5. We already talked about that, 15, 14, 18. Now we've got the Turf Sprint. This one has got a full field. You've got horses like Arrest Me Red. You've got Big Invasion, who's 7 for 9. You got Evan Singh, Nobles, a wide open field.
Yeah, this one's definitely one of the more tougher races that it was for me to handicap in this sequence, but I like Big Invasion in this spot. Christophe Clement, Joel Rosario, winning at 21% when they team up together. So that's who my pick is going to be in this race.
All right, let's move on.
What do you like in that race?
Well, in that one, I'm still leaning Big Invasion, but I also like Oceanic, and then I'm also looking a little bit at Go Bears Go. So to me, that's a spread race. Yeah, that's a spread race.
Yeah, I thought about that one too. Go Bears Go, Wesley Ward, Johnny B on board in the irons for that one. 12-1, you might get better than 12-1. So that might be one that I might. And then,
even a horse like Just Might kind of is a horse that you got to look at a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That's another good one that you can it'll definitely help the payout in that one if it does come in.
Now, a lot of people talking about the Pat Day Mile as a loaded race. We've got Derby Knowledge says Pat Day Mile is super tough. I'm playing my favorite numbers. So that's
What's your
good.
number?
You got Kangaroo Court from California. You got Tall Boy, who ran in overseas. And then you've got Echo again for Steve Asmussen, Frosted Departure for Ken McPeak. Kind of can go 4 or 5 different directions, even Gun Pilot out of that 12 hole.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a spread race in my opinion. Like you said, Steve Asmussen's got 2 runners in this one, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling Echo again. I got burned a couple of times during the beginning of his 2-year-old campaign, so I want to completely toss it out, but I may throw it in the pick 5. So that'll be like a really last minute late decision.
All right, let's go on. So you've got, looks like Kangaroo here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 8-1. So especially going along the rail, and if I can get 8-1, great. If I get 9-1, 10-1, even better.
All right, and you're gonna play him in exactas.
Yes, exactas over the 11, 9, 5, and the 12.
All right, so yeah, if you can get Kangaroo Court home, and then you want to use 1, 11, and 5 in the multi races.
Yes, correct. And then spread, if I do use that on the spread bet, in the spread ticket, I'll throw in the 9 for that one. General Jim.
Okay, General Jim. Okay, he won a stakes race, a nice race at Gulfstream Park his last time out.
Sure.
Now we've got the American Turf. 16 horses are entered. 2 are also eligibles. We've got Major Dude, who is maybe going to try to run in the Derby. And we've got Farbridge, Carl Spackler. This is a tough race.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be like a 3-horse race, in my opinion. I know Carl Spackler for Chad Brown and Jose Ortiz on board in the irons for that one. Last race won by, what was it, 8 3/4 lengths. So it's going to be tough to beat this one, 3-1. But I'm going to take a shot with the number 4, Talk of the Nation. Claude McGahee, Tyler Gaffleone on board in the irons, 16% win rate. So I have a feeling Tyler Gaffleone, he might have a pretty big day come Saturday, because I'm using him on quite a bit of the races on my ticket. So we'll see how this race plays out.
Yeah, even a horse like Fantastic again, going back to the turf off the synthetic, and the winner is, he ran in some big races, and even Web Slinger's a nice closer.
Yeah, and you're definitely going to get a pretty good price on those outside horses besides the 11. But you go 12, what is it, 12? Hold on. Yeah, 12 is going to be Fantastic, and the winner is running out of post 13. Web Slinger post 14. And the also eligibles, I doubt they'll get in, though. But we'll see. A lot can happen. Obviously.
What if Scooby Quando gets in there?
Scooby Quando, that's my boy. If he gets in, I'm definitely going to throw him in on the ticket just to throw him in, because you never know what happens in these races.
I think this is probably the most competitive race of the day. They're young. A lot of these horses only have 3-4 starts. A couple of them only have 1 race as a 3-year-old. I think some horses, Carl Spackler and Farbridge. Farbridge has been bet down in both his races. Carl Spackler's been bet down. They're going to get a lot of the money, but I think you can make the case for at least 6 horses in that race.
At least 6. That's being generous right there, because it's pretty much a wide open race in my opinion.
Okay, so I think a lot of people will, when people use a lot of horses in doubles or pick 3s or pick 4s, that's what they call a spread race, and that's the race that they don't want to key in on only a couple of horses, so they try to take more horses to be alive and maybe catch a shot or a price in one of those races.
Yes, sir. That's the plan right there for me, because I'm probably end up spreading a little bit more, but we'll see what happens whenever it comes time to punch those buttons on the machine.
Now we've got the Churchill Downs, and I typed this up before White Abario scratched, but full field of 10. You've got CZ Rocket, Hear Me Song, Get Her Number, Tejano Twist, Cody's Wish, 4-5 morning line favorite. Fortin Hill's got some speed. Endorsed has won 3 in a row. He beat Charge It the last time, and then you've got Steel Sunshine.
Yep, and this is one of those races where it's either you're going to live with your single or you're going to die by the single. So a lot of people are going to be singling Cody's Wish, so that's why I'm going to include the 10 Endorse on my ticket. So hopefully if Endorse does win, it's going to knock out over half the people that singled Cody's Wish.
I thought Sir Alfred James at 50-1, he could maybe be a trifecta type horse.
Oh, he's definitely going to hit the board 3rd or 4th place. This horse always finds a way to end up hitting the board, and not necessarily in a winning way because he hasn't won since August of last year. So, I mean, but he's been showing up consistently, hitting the board.
And then CZ Rocket, you know, he fires big races. He's had some nice wins at Oaklawn Park, but it seems like on these big days, he's always showing up somewhere.
Yeah, he's always showing up for second. But he's faced elite power. So, I mean, coming in a second in that, that's not really, he didn't really lose to no scrub or anything.
William Daly says a salty veteran. CZ Rocket loves Churchill.
Yeah, 9 starts, 4 wins, and 1 second and 2/3. So definitely use them underneath or on top. I'm sure William's going to use them on top here. So 10-1, you're probably going to get that. If not, maybe 11, 12-1. See,
yeah, and Dorse had a long losing streak, and now he's kind of turned the corner and turned it around.
Yeah, he definitely turned it around. The last 3, like you said, winner of the last 3 out. So that's the reason why I'm throwing him in on the ticket. So if you do wish to single 10 endorse, that's a smart play because, I mean, say if Cody's Wish does win and 99% of the country has him and the rest of the horses on the rest of the ticket, I mean, it's going to knock the price down a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some prices and it doesn't go off favorites in the last 5 races.
Wilson Dog asked you, Derby Bandit, do you like Continuar or Derma Sotogaki better of the Japanese horses, or do you like Mandarin Hero?
I got to go with Mandarin Hero just based off that Santa Anita performance and seeing how if you would have got more distance, he would have beat Practical Moves. So Continuar's always ran, second to Derma, chasing him that workout the other morning. I mean, Derma just put him away easily. So if I had to pick out of those 2 exact ones, I'd go with Derma Sotogake.
All right. Let's go. This is the White Abario, Cody's Wish, Sir Alfred James. Race 11 on the turf. They'll be mowing the lawn here right before the Derby. Masterpiece, Wolfie's Dynaghost, Up to the Mark, Hong Kong Harry, Santine, Spooky Channel from the fairgrounds, and then Bye Bye Melvin. Kind of some names we get used to seeing on these big days, but some really good turfers.
Yeah, this could be another wide open race just for the fact that, I mean, if you trust Hong Kong Harry, some people may single, but I don't know, at 7-2, that's not something that I plan on doing. But see, who did I go with in this one? Let's see, race. Let's see, I went with the number 5, Up to the Mark. So I went Pletcher and Ortiz at 4-1. So hopefully this will revert back to 2-3 races ago and run a pretty good speed figure. But like I said, it's kind of spread open just for the fact that we see a couple of these horses running together pretty much in the same races. So what are your thoughts on this race?
You know, I ended up going with Earl's Rock, but Santine, you know, Godolphin seems to be loaded up for the weekend. They've had success. They've got a couple of horses in the Oaks. So Santine is another one that could be horse for course. And
once again, Tyler Gaffleon will be on boards in the irons for that one. So like I said, if Tyler shows up with a big day, this could be the horse right here that helps pump up that pick 5 ticket.
All right, let's go to the big dog now, the Kentucky Derby. And let's start off, kind of do this in groups of 10. Now, Practical Move was scratched. Hit Show is one of 4 horses for Brad Cox. The interesting thing, he has been favored in all 5 of his races, and now he's 30-1 here in the Derby.
Yeah, I think that just him being the 4th Brad Cox, I think that's probably the reason why they made him so high. So I don't know. I'm tossing this one completely from all my tickets.
He is by Candy Ride, and it's Mary and Gary West, and they had Maximum Security taken down a few years ago.
And I was not too happy about that one, but it is what it is.
Maybe all right, verifying Brad Cox, second to Tapit Trice, won a race at Oaklawn, one at Saratoga. What do you think about Verifying's chances?
I like Verifying's chances in this one a lot. He definitely can improve off that second place effort in the Bluegrass. So worth a shot at maybe a small $50 backup win bet. I may be doing that, but he's definitely going to be going to the lead in this one, or at least be in the first flight of horses.
Joe says Verifying will be terrifying at the top of the stretch. Now we've got puns. We've got poets listening to the show.
All right. So do you see that as a good thing or a bad thing? Because terrifying to me, wanting to bet him is like, oh, he's going to win. He's going to be scary. So how do you take that?
All right. I don't know. Our Stephanie says Saffy Juice is banned. Yeah. So
get him out of here.
No Lord Miles. Two Phils, early betting. I think I saw somebody showed some odds today and he's already like 8-1. He's being bet down.
Yeah.
All the Phils bet early. Every Phil in the country bet today.
Your name's Phil. You got to put the wager down today. But he's definitely going to take some money just because everyone else is hyping him up and coming in with some of the best speed figures. I go by Equibase, and Equibase is showing a 97 in the Jeff Ruby Stakes and a 92 in the Risen Star. So I don't know what this whatever time form numbers people are coming up with.
Now, Bayer and Brisnet have two Phils as the fastest horse in the race.
Yeah, see, and that's why I go by Equibase, because to me it just seems a little bit more reliable or more trustworthy of a speed figure. Because a lot of
some
people
of the more advanced,
always,
like Thorograph and Rags, those account for wind and they account for turns and things like that. And they're good speed figures, but they're also very expensive.
Yeah, and I'm not paying all that money for that. That's why I just stick to the regular sheet Equibase. And that's all I need right there. And watching race replays.
Confidence Game hasn't ran in 70 days, won the Rebel Stakes in the slop. He does have a win over Churchill Downs.
Yeah, he does, but his long layoff's a pretty big concern for me. So apparently the trainer, Keith DeSormo's been rambling on about how he's going to win. He's propping him up like pretty big. So see that last workout on April 29th was 5 furlongs and 59 flat. So what do you make of that? Because I'm 50-50 on that.
Yeah, that's one. The one thing with Confidence Game is the pedigree is good. I don't like the layoff. I don't like the fact that he's missed a couple of works, but he did work out a mile in 1:38. Then he came back with 5 furlongs. Keith DeSormo has got Exaggerator to run in the money, win the Preakness. He's done well with some long shots in some of these big days. So that's something that you do got to consider. Now, Smarty Gell says, with two Phils, and this is interesting. He's right here. He hasn't put back-to-back races. He's kind of alternated good performances with bad performances, and he's coming off a win here. Do you think there's any kind of pattern with two Phils not being able to put back-to-back good races up?
I think so. I just think he's outmatched in this one, especially coming from synthetic to dirt. I'm not buying it.
All right. Derby Knowledge says Confidence Game skipped a workout. That's a red flag. The Curious Driver loves Mandarin Hero as a closer. Can he pull a rich strike if the pace is fast?
I think he's going to be probably in the first or second flight of horses, or at least attempt to. So I don't think he's going to he might be a closer. I don't know. I doubt it, but I just have a feeling that these Japan horses are going to end up trying to go to the lead like they did last year.
I think Mandarin Hero has better form coming in than Rich Strike did. Mandarin Hero, I watched a couple of his replays. He had kind of some weird rides actually over in Japan that like he was winning in the final stride and the jockey was like kind of like it didn't look like a very experienced jockey. He was really high in the saddle.
So what you're saying is it looked like a race at Gulfstream Park between Paco Lopez and Jose Ortiz and Irad Ortiz and Edgar Zayas, like one of those races. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep. Nowhere Man says Jeff Ruby unlikely to produce back-to-back Derby winners. Of course, Rich Strike ran in the Jeff Ruby. What about two Phils? He might try to make it 2 for 2.
If he does, then we know what we're gonna have to do next Derby is bet the Jeff Ruby winner and hammer him. So that's tic-tac-toe 3 in a row if that does happen.
Yep, definitely last year there was a suicidal pace. Timeform US had it as the fastest pace since Justify and the second fastest pace since they've been doing pace rating since 2004. So a very fast pace in the Derby last year. This year, I'm not expecting as fast of a pace. What about you, Derby Bandit?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a more lesson learned from last year pace, and ain't going to be no suicide this year. I think they might go a little bit more moderate pace. But I did see a Timeform US pace projector talking about it being a fast pace or a hot pace. So we'll see.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom did come out of the Jeff Ruby. I think it had a different name then. It was called the Spiral Stakes. So 3 horses actually have won a couple of them. It's possible. I like the synthetic to dirt move. The one thing about Two Phils is he has 2 wins on the dirt. He won at Canterbury and at Colonial.
Yeah, and see, and if you're gonna see, but if you say that, then everyone's gonna hammer Botanical because she came from Turfway, but the money is not. I mean, the odds don't suggest it. So
all right,
like,
what about
Tap
at Trice?
Take the other.
What about Tap at Trice? Todd Pletcher's won 4 in a row. This horse.
He's pretty good. I can't really say nothing bad about him, but just off that last race, I think he might have used a little bit in the tank. So we'll see what Sias does with this one because he's going to be coming from the very back of the pack because everyone knows he's not a good out the gate horse. So keep that in mind. If you want to bet a closer, this is probably be the best one right here, especially if you get 5 to 1 or better. He'd be a good pick.
Yeah, Secret G. Last year they came home in 53 seconds. I think they're going to do a little bit better. Kings Barnes, he's undefeated. Todd Pletcher trains. He's by Uncle Mo. He's got some momentum coming into this race.
Momentum with 3 wins. And what is it again? The Curse of who? Apollo?
Curse of Apollo. He did not run as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, that's he's a toss for me. I'm not using him at all. If I do, he might be in 3rd or 4th spot, but out of the first 2 spots, he's a toss for me.
All right. Pyrotechnique does like Botanical in the Oaks tomorrow.
There you go.
Reincarnate, you're going to use him in your Oaks Derby doubles.
Yeah, I'm using him because you have the very veteran Johnny Velasquez in the irons for this one. Tim Yakteen was really Bob Baffert's horse, but that's a whole nother topic. But everyone knows he's going to go to the lead and try and wire maybe, but I don't know. I think Johnny, he learned from last year's fast pace. He's probably not going to go suicidal, but he's going to keep the pace honest, especially if he gets out in front.
Johnny Velasquez, he wired the Derby with Always Dreaming. He wired the Derby with Authentic.
Yep.
He wired the Derby with Medina Spirit. Now that one got disqualified, but the bettors who bet on Medina Spirit, they don't care about that. They got paid.
I didn't care because I had win bets on both of them. So that was a really good Derby that year.
So that's 3 wire-to-wire wins, and now he's on Reincarnate with a 46 bullet last week.
Yep, and 50 to 1. That's the best part of it all right there to me. 50 to 1.
All right. Derby Knowledge says Tappa Trice a serious contender. What about Luis Saez? He can ride.
Yeah, he had a couple of choices, but obviously he went with the best one. Smart man.
Mage, he's fighting the Curse of Apollo. He did not run as a 2-year-old. Him and Kings Barnes, so far, 1 for 71 since Apollo won the Derby without racing as a 2-year-old. That we've 0 for 12 since Justify.
Yeah, you could put an asterisk right there by that 1-2 on Justify, especially with the controversy that happened with that. With him, either he was supposed to run or not run. I don't know. That's a whole another story. But I'm tossing this one too, at least from the 1st and 2nd place.
All right. How about Skinner? Skinner got in, and you know what? He was only a neck behind Mandarin Hero in the Santa Anita Derby.
Yeah, he's definitely one that can step up and improve, and if he's got the rider upgrade with Juan Hernandez. So John Sheriff's he's talking pretty high about this one too. So if you want to use him, everybody else is going to be using him because everybody else is talking about the number 9 Skinner. So maybe 20 to 1, 18, 16 to 1 on the board, but keep in mind, everyone else is going to have him in those exact same spots that you plan on putting them.
All right. So here is your Kentucky Derby pick for the nation. Walk us through what you're doing here on the Derby.
I am taking number 11, Disarm, at 30 to 1. This is the year that Asmussen wins the Derby, maybe, but I got to take a shot because, I mean, he's got pretty good workouts coming in. Fired that bullet on the 24th, going 5 furlongs in a minute flat. Kind of not really getting a whole lot of traction here coming into the Derby, but a 3rd place finish the last time out against First Mission Arabian Lion. I'm looking for someone that's going to improve from that 95, from his 95 speed figure. So he could be that one Asmussen that wasn't being hyped up or winning all the races coming into the Derby. So I'm going to take a shot with him.
All right. So now let's go through a few more of these horses. You've got Disarm. You just talked about him. Jace's Road. He's by Quality Road. He does have 2 wire-to-wire wins. He won at Ellis, and then he won at the Fairgrounds, but he got 3rd to Kingsbarn the last time out.
Yeah, he got 3rd, and he went to the lead, but this was going to be a complete toss for me. I'm not using him at all.
Now, what do you do with the pace in the Louisiana Derby that Kingsbarn won was 1:14 for 6 furlongs. They basically walked. That's like 3 seconds slower than a normal pace. So he came home really fast. I think his late pace rating was a 109.
Yeah, that was a really slow race, but I don't know. I'm not really taking those Louisiana preps too seriously.
Secret G says they're all going to be chasing Derma Sotogake at the 8th pole. Forte up for 2nd. He says, book it.
There you go. That's a good bet. Hey, throw $2 on it. Everybody, bet $2 on it. See what happens. That's what I like to do is, like, if I see someone talk about a bet and they're gung-ho on it, like it's going to win, like they're going to hit it. If you want to play a 50-cent trifecta or trifecta box, I mean, what do you have to lose? $3?
Yeah, I always think on the Derby, the rest of the year, people talk about value and all of this stuff. To me, the Derby, just bet who you like.
Yeah, all that stuff goes out the window, and like people will probably be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about." You have to find out. Everyone is gambling on the Derby. It's like the 2nd most betted sporting event in America, besides the Super Bowl. So even if you play a $3 trifecta box. That's what I did with Authentic and was it Tiz the Law and Big News?
Yep.
$3 bet returned $656, something like that. And you're just taking a shot.
Let's see here.
I couldn't read that.
We got Sun Thunder, Ken McPeak looking for his first Derby win.
Yeah, he's going to keep looking because this horse is definitely not it.
But he was 2nd to Angel of Empire in the Risen Star.
Yeah, he ran a 94 Equibase speed figure in that race. Looked promising, then ran back to 5th place, lost by 8.5 lengths to Kingsbarn, lost by 6.5 to Tappet Trice and Verifying. So, I mean, if you want to use them for 3rd or 4th place, I don't think a whole lot of people are going to be using this one. So you might find a little bit of value using him for 3rd or 4th.
All right. Angel of Empire. That's my top selection. I like the win in the Risen Star. I like the win in the Arkansas Derby. His final fractions in the Arkansas Derby were 36-1. He's by Classic Empire, who won the 2nd in the Preakness, won the Arkansas Derby. A couple of nice workouts. I think he'll be about 5 to 1 after the scratch of Practical Move. How about Forte? Can he win this race? And you're definitely using him in your pick 5, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm going to use him in the pick 5, and I'm going to play a separate pick 5 that I'll be putting up on Twitter, where I'm going to single him again, just like I did a couple weekends ago in the Florida Derby. So it's pretty much his race to lose. He's won all the grade ones coming in. He's on that long winning streak. So everyone's talking about his speed figures declining, but I mean, in my opinion, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think he saved a little bit in the tank, but I did ride him pretty good to beat Mage in that Florida Derby. So I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
people
What do you think
thought he
about
was
that? 'Cause
beaten in that
I'm
race.
50-50 about that race.
His Fountain of Youth was a good win, and he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He's got some class.
Yeah, he does, but I think he should have just skipped the Florida Derby altogether and waited. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that last race really affected him come Saturday.
Rocket Can gets the blinkers for Bill Mott. He's a gray. If it's a gray day, you got to bet the gray.
Grays never lose, according to some people on social media. I'm not going to say his name, but yeah, I mean, Rocky Can's definitely one that if you want to use in third or fourth, or maybe even throw in under Forte, that's not a bad bet right there, because at 30 to 1, you're definitely going to get some money, get some more money on your $1 wager or whatever X amount of dollars you plan on betting. So we'll see what happens come Saturday.
All right. Lord Miles Scratch, Continuar, a Japan bred. You know, he ran against Derma Sotogake twice in Saudi Arabia and then also in Dubai. I think he's a closer, but boy, his works were kind of funky this week. He's been doing some weird things training, but he actually ran okay in both those races.
Yeah, this horse is I don't even know what he's doing in this race, honestly. Workouts were kind of weird. Got smoked in that last workout by Derma, and I don't know. I won't be surprised if this horse scratches.
Cyclone Mischief is in. He did run against Forte twice. If you think Forte's got some class, then I think at least Cyclone Mischief and has proven he can be at that grade 1 level.
Yeah, he's definitely one that can improve too. Ran a 71 Equibase speed figure in the Holy Bull, and 97 in the Fountain of Youth, and then jumped up 2 points in the Florida Derby and ran a 99. So that's two back-to-back races where he's slowly improved. So if he jumps up, runs a 103, 104, is that going to be good enough to win the Derby? I don't know, but he's definitely going to be worth the $5 exacta, 21 over 15.
All right. And then Mandarin Heroes 22, he is in the race. Ellis wants you to quick talk about South Lawn Derby Bandit. He says, what did you think of that move? She ran up on horses and then went around a horse and then ended up winning the race fairly easily.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I want to use this one, because it's been improving. She has been improving. You got to get that right. And the last couple of races, so that's why I'm going to use as a single for the Derby Oaks double. So hopefully it stays 8 to 1. I doubt it, but I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be using wet paint over whoever else they plan on using in the Derby. So we're going to find some value in that Oaks Derby double.
Ellis says Continuar is going to have to take an Uber to finish the race.
Yeah, probably, because this horse is definitely not going to win. And there's a prop bet contest that I entered on Bet Online's website, where you pick the winner for first and the I should say the loser in last place, and that's what I picked was Continuar to finish the race last.
So we've got the Oaks. Your top pick is South Lawn. The Derby, it's Disarm. Of the 2 days, what's kind of the couple of horses that you're going to bet a little bit more money to win on, or key in a double, or kind of key as if those horses win this weekend will be strong angles for you to get off to a good start?
Yeah, well, hopefully in let's see, where were we at that I was talking about? Let me see. You got to go through my notes. Perfect Flight in race 6. Hopefully if I get that one at 20 to 1, I'm going to use it as a single in a couple of more inflated pick 3 starting in race number 4. So obviously if I single Good Olive, everybody's going to be doing that. If I single Spenderella, everyone's going to be doing that. But if I can sneak the 4 in for the third leg, not a whole lot of people are going to be using the number 4 Perfect Flight. So if I play that for $10, I'm going to crush it. So I'm just going to play that concept kind of and a couple of other pick 3s using around that 4 Perfect Flight.
All right.
So we've got in race 8.
Okay, so Orb, Nyquist, and Always Dreaming won the Florida Derby, won the Kentucky Derby, and I believe 24 horses that ran in the Florida Derby, 24 that have ran in the Florida Derby have won the Kentucky Derby. So we've got 3 of them now. We've got Cyclone Mischief, Mage, and Forte.
Yes. So it's really Forte's race to lose. So I don't know. I mean, people are talking about, like I said, how his last 2 races speed figure's been declining. So I'm on the fence with it. 50-50. Either he's going to win or he's going to end up coming in second.
All right, let's see what else we got here. The fastest speed figures before the scratch of Practical Move, we had 2 fills with a 101, Tappa Trice with a 99, Forte with a 98. You know, I think that shows really you've got 4 or 5 horses. About 3 points is about maybe a length to a length and a half. So we could have a close race at the end here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be close. Like just like how the Bluegrass was and the Florida Derby came down. And that's pretty much how it was last year until Rich Strike ran up the rail and stole the race. So I don't know if you want to bet it. Hopefully it's number 11 Disarm coming down on the inside too and beats Forte and Angel of Empire or something like that. But that's just you're asking for a long. That's why they're called long shots, because it's literally a long shot that you're hoping for to hit.
One of the things I do want to mention in the prep races, we had a 3-horse photo in the wood between Lord Miles and Dreamlike, and also with Hit Show. Then we had a 2-horse photo in the Bluegrass, Tappa Trice, along with Verifying. And we had a 3-horse photo with Practical Move, Mandarin Hero, and also Skinner. I think people don't realize you really can throw a blanket over about 10 of these horses.
Yeah, it could, on paper, it's a little bit more wide open if you don't, I guess, if you leave Forte out of it. So, I mean, if you have a strong opinion or if you have a strong angle, I guess my advice would be to hammer that. So, yeah, look, Old Man says number 7 is going to try wire to wire. So if you have that opinion that you like on number 7, Reincarnate, play him on top, play him with Tappa Trice on the bottom, Kings Barnes, Skinner for second would be another really good value to play right there. And of course, there's you have those people that hit the all favorite, or they'll play favorite all. So keep that in mind too whenever you're making your wagers, as far as trying to try and find the best value for your money.
All right. Curtis agrees with you on Disarm.
Yeah, he does. He's got pretty good workouts coming in. And like I said, he could be the one Steve Asmussen horse that actually wins, even though he's not been his best trainee. So that's
all right. Here's a good prop for us. Silver Charm says the half. So the first half mile in 46.60 or 3/5 of a second. Do you think they'll go slower than that or faster than that?
Nah, they're going slower than that.
You think they're going to go slower?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm predicting. I think it's going to be about 47 and 3, 47 and 4.
Yeah, that sounds way more realistic, because if you look at the Arkansas Derby, which Reincarnate ran in second to Angel. Oh no, he came in third to Angel of Empire. That half was in 47 and 2. And Kings Barnes, of course, he ran 49 in his last prep in the Louisiana Derby. The Bluegrass was ran in 48.04. So, yeah, it's going to be a definitely slower pace than it was last year, in my opinion.
Yep. Curtis says right around 47 and 4.
Yeah, 47 and a half that's decent pace right there.
Okay. Now, last year we had a fast fractions, fast pace. Another thing to look at is sometimes it's not how fast they're running, but if they're all bunched up, sometimes those horses can kind of get keyed up. So I always look to see, if they're starting to get strung out and there's horses 20 lengths behind. Another guy thinks Confidence Game could be up on the pace.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing that people talking about him going to the lead and he's going to try and wire, but his last race he tried to close it out in the Rebel, but I don't know. I'm 50-50 on this one too. I might use him maybe in a couple of win bet and some bets, not in the win spot, not betting to win.
He did have a win at Churchill Downs.
Yeah, he's four starts at Churchill Downs, two wins and 1/3. So if you want to play the horse for course angle, hammer him because you might get better than 20-1 come post time.
Curtis says anything over 10-1 on King's Barn is value. I like him too. He's my long shot pick. Angel of Empire is my official pick, and then I'm going to play a couple exactas with King's Barns.
Yeah, Angel of Empire was my pick for the show, but somebody had to take him. But it's okay though. I'll go with 11 Disarm, but I like Angel of Empire a lot.
All right. Ellis says Angel of Empire's final furlong in Arkansas Derby was fast. Yep.
Yeah, and he looked like he could have kept on going after the wire. So he's definitely one that's he's gonna appreciate the extra distance, I think.
Confidence Game will sit 4th or 5th according to Mike. Let's see. Tapit Trice, he's slow starts, but I think he'll move up quickly, especially with Luis Saez. Of course, Angel of Empire, Pennsylvania bred, Arkansas Derby winner, Risen Star winner. Here's my new projected 6 furlong pace after the scratch today. Actually, this was after the scratch of a couple of other horses. So I had Practical Move originally at the 6 furlong pressing. Now he drops back. I think that helps King's Barns and Confidence Game, and that's where Derma Sotogake could take the lead.
Yeah, if he gets over into the clear and finds some running space, he definitely might be one in the lead, but I don't know. We'll see, especially with Mandarin Hero. I think they might try and go together in a group and try and hopefully they do not repeat last year, because if they do, I'm just turning away from the screen.
Jockeys. I think jockeys are going to be important. Flavian Prat took Angel of Empire, Jose Ortiz on King's Barns, and then Chad Lemaire. He's used to riding in Europe. He's got to ride on the dirt and faced a little bit faster pace than he sometimes has faced.
Which horse is he on?
He's on Derma Sotogake.
Oh, Christophe Lemaire.
Christophe Lemaire.
I was like, wait, who?
Yeah, Christophe Lemaire. Yep.
Christophe Lemaire. Yeah, he's gonna be on Derma. So, won with him last time out. I mean, he's a really veteran. Isn't he like in the Hall of Fame or whatever? I thought he was or something like that. But yeah, he's a really good jockey. So he's gonna know exactly where to put this horse.
Alpha Omega says Pratt made the wrong move, so we'll see what happens there.
I do not believe that.
That's my exactas are Angel of Empire over King's Barns, Forte, Tapit Trice, Two Fills, and Skinner.
Yeah, I like those a lot too. Those are pretty much going to be some of the horses I'm going to be using with that Angel of Empire bet that I'm going to be making.
Old Man says Angel of Empire, Derma Sotogake, and Reincarnate are his top 3.
There you go. Book it.
All right. Any final thoughts? I've got some videos up on my top 10 running styles, 6 furlong pace projection, pace analysis, final thoughts on Saturday Derby Bandit, who's going to win the Kentucky Derby, and the pace of the race.
I think we're going to have a more moderate pace, more honest pace this year compared to last year. Hopefully Angel of Empire gets the job done. If not him, then hopefully Disarm at 30-1. Hopefully we get good value. Hopefully everyone makes good wagers, and hopefully everyone cashes them. And I appreciate you having me on the show tonight. And you've been putting out fire content, so everybody right now needs to hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe to his channel, because he's got all the information. All the thumbnails are up there. Just go ahead and click them and watch the videos. Keep doing your homework. Keep watching replays. And hopefully everyone has a good, safe trip going around the track all day tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, win or lose, the Derby is always a fun day. I always try to make Derby Day, you know, whatever you're betting, $2, 2 across the board, exacta box. Yeah, have some fun.
It's fun. If you're at Circus Saturday in Vegas, come find me. Be wearing the same polo shirt. Beers on me. Let's go.
Yeah, if Practical Move was going to win, you were going to buy the whole pool a drink.
I was going to buy you a shot of Fireball. That's my favorite right there. But he's crashed. Right. We'll see how the first races go. Then we'll talk about buying shots. But come find me at Saturday the Circa. I'll be there all day. Tap some beer, talk some racing. Let's cash some tickets.
So yeah, if you are in Vegas, Derby Bandit will be at Circa. He's going to be wearing that hat. He's going to be wearing a Kentucky
Exact
Derby
same
shirt.
outfit.
Find him. He'll talk horses with you. He'll play some roulette with you and
My favorite.
enjoy. I may be doing another show tomorrow night because we may have more scratches. But yeah, I've got a Kentucky Derby preview. I've got a Kentucky Oaks preview. Hit the like button. Thanks for everybody for joining us again.
Yes,
Without
thank you
you,
all
the
for
viewers,
tuning
we wouldn't have as much fun. Good luck on the Derby 2023.
Good luck, everybody.